Well, we're here with Arca Ray and Marios Ashotis of Sidelines, talking to them about their new platform that is the first community-powered platform for content marketing. Hi, guys. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really well, Bonnie. How are you?
Great. Can you tell me a little bit about your backgrounds before you started Sidelines? I'm interested in what your careers were like before you began your startup.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go first, and then Marius can fill out his part. So as far as I'm concerned, I worked at Microsoft right out of college. I got recruited while I was at Berkeley, Go Bears, and I worked at the Xbox team for about 5.5 years. I started off helping video game developers incorporate Xbox Live into their games. It was back in 2006 when multiplayer gaming on video game consoles was still a very new concept.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that for about 2 years, then went over sort of the business development side of the company to help manage portfolio and content pipeline for a number of Xbox's new products, such as Xbox Live Arcade, the Microsoft Connect, Microsoft's PC gaming marketplace. Got to work with a lot of great game developers and publishers. There's Rockstar on Grand Theft Auto, Bethesda on Fallout, Activision on Call of Duty, so on and so forth. Around 2012, when Microsoft started moving towards creating the Xbox One, at that point I sort of decided to step out and try and do something of my own. And Mario's, who's been one of my best friends for almost 8 years now, and he and I basically started Sidelines in 2012. Marius, you want to fill in a little bit about your background?
Sure thing. So I graduated from MIT in 2006, and then straight out of college, I joined Microsoft down in their Mountain View campus, working on the Hotmail backend on the Hotmail storage platform. So that was a very interesting time because Gmail had come out with its 1 GB offering. So Microsoft was trying to rapidly develop their own um, cloud storage infrastructure to be able to compete and offer Hotmail users something competitive to Gmail. I joined a very small team of, at the time that I joined, it was 5 developers, as the most junior developer there. And over the span of 6 years, the team grew, but we also grew Hotmail's infrastructure from a few thousand servers to over 200,000 at the time I left 6 years later, with data centers all around the world. So as a young developer out of college, I had a great time building next generation cloud infrastructure, competing with the likes of Google, Amazon, and then later on Facebook. But as Orko said, around early 2012, I also felt the need to kind of venture out and do something on my own. And the timing worked out great, with Orko also having the same ideas, and we joined forces.
So, what sparked the idea for Sidelines?
Honestly, it wasn't an overnight thing. Very few companies are, especially very few tech companies are. The ideas really evolved over the past 2 years. When we first started off, we were just trying to build a really fun place for smart, intelligent people who have something interesting to say to share their ideas with their intellectual peers without having to deal with trolls and trash talk that plays big the internet or any sort of conversation forum on the internet, be it an old school forum, Twitter, Facebook, what have you, comments sections on places. So we just wanted to build a real haven, so to speak, for what we call expert fans or everyday experts. It's actually a very well-known statistic that only about 5 to 10% of people who consume content on the internet have something interesting to say about it. We wanted to build sort of this walled garden for this 10%, where they could share ideas, opinions with their intellectual peers without being bothered by trolls. Our focus initially was very much on sports. It was a very rich vertical and very rich vein of contributors for us to tap into. But then we gradually broadened over to movies, gaming, lifestyle, travel, parenting, so on and so forth.
Okay. So when you say community powered content marketing platform, what's the what's the straight definition of that then?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So as I mentioned, we really built this community and figured out how to maintain a really high level of conversation. So instead of investing in bringing people to Sidelines, what we decided to do was actually distribute our content using technology, place them natively on blog sites and apps. And what turns out that there are brands out there who want to be associated with these discussions. So what community-powered content marketing really means is that Sidelines content isn't written by a single professional writer, which is usually the case with your typical content marketing platform. It's developed collaboratively by our community of everyday experts. These are the accountant who happens to be a fantasy football wizard, a mom who homeschools, her two kids. She may not be a professional teacher, but she sure knows a lot of early childhood.
So Arka, can you explain how this fits into kind of a native advertising type of approach, or is it native advertising then if these brands are actually able to use these conversations?
Again, great question. It actually really boils down to what native advertising actually is today. Native advertising, current form of web, it's really advertising disguised as content. It usually refers to regular display ads in a media field. That's disguised as content that you can click. They don't really have any value as content. And then you have content marketing, which is part of native advertising. Typically means that you pay a bunch of bloggers to write articles about your brand. These articles get traffic for a few days, but brands don't know how it's content works.
I'm going to interrupt you for just a second because there's some problems with your audio on your computer, so I was really only getting a little bit of that. Arka, do you want to sort of reinforce what Marios was saying there, because I think we missed a little bit of that.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So let me talk a little about native advertising. So as far as native advertising is concerned, it really is just advertising. It really needs regular display ads, social media presence that drive they don't really have any value as content itself. And then you have content marketers like a bunch of figures try talking to your brand, articles that get Sidelines these aren't talking to professional writers. These are authentic discussions from real people created collaboratively. And instead of trying to trick people into coming to yet another destination, clicking and reading this content through link pages headlines, we place these authentic discussions on blogs, sites, and apps that readers are already in with. So it's a lot of in communicating the brand messages with target demographic. Since readers can much more easily identify with our contributors as their careers rather than messages that come directly from the brand. And we've seen great results. We see about 10 times the number of, about 5 times the number of clicks back to brand, and people see about 10 times the amount of time on Sidelines than a regular native app.
So the community members are growing pretty rapidly. Can you tell me a little bit more about what the advantage is for them, for these writers who are in there spending all this time talking about these brands, and what do they get out of it?
Really boils down to one thing, which is personal attention. Each contributor in our community gets interviewed when they first join. They have to fill an application, they have to go through an interview, and each contributor is paired up with an editor who establishes a personal relationship with the contributor and helps the contributor achieve their goals sideline. And this interview is very crucial. That's where the editor figures out what the contributor actually wants. Mario, can you talk a little bit about how the various innovations that we see our contributors achieve?
Yeah, so our contributors, there's three things, three kind of categories where our contributors fall into in terms of what they want to get out of Sidelines. One of those things is a social validation, that is being able to interact with their peers of like similar intellect without being interrupted by trolls or people who just have like nothing insightful to say. The other thing is exposure. Any Sidelines contributor can get their thoughts, their content in front of millions of people instead of like starting their own blog and just struggle to get to a few thousand page views a month. Sideline offers that to our contributors immediately thanks to our content distribution engine. And the third is rewards and compensation. So, at the lower levels of when the Sidelines contributor first joins the community, we offer small gifts. We regularly host challenges where people can earn rewards. And as our contributors progress through our levels, they join our MVP program and our editorial team. And all our editors currently are full-time employees that started as contributors before joining the Sidelines.
And one thing that I'd like to add there is we also have the Sidelines Academy for people who want to learn how to write professionally. That's run by our editors. We teach people how to write long-form content with actual AP style, creating an argument. We have had over 35 our contributors who want to write professionally in positions that we have placed them in sort of in our publisher network. So we are actively helping our contributors grow professionally and take that next step.
Okay. So in a nutshell, I know that there are some big brands that you're going to be announcing in 2015 and you're not ready to name them yet. But why are some of these global organizations so intrigued by Sidelines? What's the key thing that they are going to get out of it when they join in the program? Beyond like content marketing, beyond like what they would get with native advertising, what's the real sweet spot in terms of a marketer's campaign?
I think it comes down to three things. We offer a much more scalable solution. We offer a much more authentic solution and much more solution. Typically, as I mentioned, brands end up paying a lot of money to individual bloggers or to sites that create a bunch of lists for them. It's not an approach that's very scalable. We have to spend a lot of time managing these results, and at the end of the day, the results that we especially both major brands that they're like, you're doing this because everyone else won't know how to think about it. So Sidelines is really a breath of fresh air because what we are doing is we are generating all the content for the brand and we are distributing all the content to the targeted demographic. In addition, not only are we handling the distribution and the content, we are also giving an extremely measurable. Given the nature of our technology, we can actually tell brands exactly how much people are spending reading the discussion, how many people are reading it, who those people are, how many people interact with their content, etc., etc. We really figured out how to take content marketing from something that was a very manual process to an extremely scalable process. And the results are, really, really encouraging because people are spending over 2 minutes reading a single piece of content. That is staggering compared to any other sort of marketing that the brand is doing, especially at the cost that they're giving them. And I think even more importantly, what's really important to brands is that our content is really authentic. We are not telling us to fluff brands. These are people having real discussions with real opinions, and brands can choose to sponsor a discussion with them. This authenticity is very valuable. The brands want their customers to be able to trust our customers and our opinions, and this very naturally leads to a lot more interaction to the brand's destination. And at the end of the day, we are much more affordable than any sort of platform that they might be considering for content marketing, simply because of the unique collaborative way that our content and our discussions are generated.
So what's in store for 2015? I mean, what are your plans for growth for this?
I think we are on a really good track in terms of where we are with Sidelines at the end of 2014. Are really there are three components to our company. There's the contributor base and the content management that we have. And that's grown rapidly. At the start of the year, we barely had 100 active contributors. We are at over 1,000 active contributors now across multiple verticals, as I had mentioned. So that is just a machine at this point. We just have more and more contributors coming in. We get about 200 applications a month at this point. We end up taking 40 or so. So our contributor community is going like gangbusters. The second part of it is part of the publisher network, where we just our discussions. We are actively growing that network to over 100 at this point. But really, in 2015, we need to take that to the next level. We need to go from 100,000 plus. So we are looking to actively hire someone to manage that part of the company, sort of a publisher development. That's a huge priority for us. And at the end of the day, what will really make the company grow is just being very successful with the brand campaigns that we're running right now. As you mentioned, Bonnie, have about 7 brands for whom we're going to start running campaigns in January. The key is to make these campaigns very successful and not only run more campaigns for brands, but steadily go on brand sales. So we are also looking actually to hire someone who's a VP of business development timeline, who's going to help us with new positions to really succeed on this front. So it's really an exciting time for Sidelines. I think overall we have a lot of growth opportunities internally within our team as well as externally when it comes to our customers, and I'm very excited. Mario, do you want to add something to our growth?
Yeah, so we're also like one of the things we want to do is as we grow and we bring more brands on board, kind of get their feedback on how they use our platform and what the things we do benefit them and what the things we do don't really matter much, and kind of offer a holistic one-stop solution for brands for all their content marketing needs.
Well, that sounds great. Thanks a lot, you guys, for your time, and good luck in 2015.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful holiday.